My silly koala. How do I do it? Thrift stores, mostly. That gold sequin pencil skirt I was wearing the other night, $7.99. Yeah, J.D. Vance will not be worse. Everything will fracture and fall apart. And I think we'll see MAGA go up in mist. And that's what people like don't understand, because like, yes, this cult was a thing before Trump. I think it was a cult of an idea. Let's just call that idea racist conservatism. But Trump came in and made it about him. He made it a cult of personality. And there's no just like back switch. So Heritage Foundation decided to hitch their wagon to his star. They're gonna have to deal with the fallout. Yeah. It's very, very hard to pass down cults of personality without them fracturing. And when they have been done, when it has been done successfully, it still, I think, sometimes ultimately leads to the end, like with Children of God and probably Scientology. But also, those people were, one, identified for decades as the successor. And number two, it's still the Game of Thrones. They still have to try to keep it secret. They still have to move very fast, very, very hard and illegal to keep a secret that the sitting president of the United States is unalive. So, you know, I'm not that concerned with it. And just when I do videos about it, people what it descends to in the chat, right? Like everyone's being like, it's gonna be this person, it's gonna be this person, it's gonna be this person. Exactly. Yeah. I of course blocked PsyOp Girl, but I hope somebody tagged her in my little, haha, so I was right. And we all just saw, all at the same time, that Donald Trump does not own the United States military. And we might remember Hermiting Coldly, he said that no country has gone from democracy to dictatorship in the modern era without owning the military. Ron DeSantis is not charismatic at all either. He tried. Elon Musk is not charismatic. That's why he can't build his cult. There's always we think of the cult joiner, like the person who joins the cult, but we never think about the 20% that are just failed narcissists who just are like, well, I can't really successfully build my own thing, so I'm just gonna hitch my wagon to someone else's star. How do I make these comments? Live chat, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, I know. A cult lady calling others cultists is amazing. Glad you're here. Your hate comments make me money too. Especially on YouTube, which is a very stable platform. Why does my chat keep disappearing? With having kids, cults always want you pregnant. It's eugenics, it is. It's very, very eugenicsy. It depends. How would I define charisma? That depends if you're talking about charisma, a personal quality that someone has, or charismatic authority. Because those are two very different things that people confuse all of the time. And The definition of charisma is that because of some qualities about someone, formerly God-given qualities, we have decided to give you authority over us. That's charismatic authority. It has nothing to do with the charming part of being charismatic. Oftentimes, those people who have convinced you to put yourself under their authority are charismatic and charming, but not always. But you're definitely not going to have a handover to an uncharismatic leader like Shady Pants and have that go well. Especially not now that it's a full-on cultist personality. People are so cute when they try to be like, wow, the Democrats too. Oh, it's cute. Like, you're right about that by definition, having a binary political, two parties, one against the other, you define yourself by not being the other one, that's cult-like. But like, oh honey, you couldn't land on one Democratic leader, person, or idea to save your life if you wanted to. I have done some cross stitching in the past. I've never done freehand embroidery. Yeah, and the two-party thing is basically enshrined in the Constitution of the Electoral College. You know, you have to get a gross majority. So ultimately, we're only gonna have two parties. So there you have it. Yeah, you do need to know like what you're doing to operate a cult, and it would be still probably impossible for a very brilliant authoritarian to just take over America. Certainly not possible for this bunch of clowns. No, it doesn't take less intelligence than you think. What you're getting confused about here is the cult leader is not usually the one running things, the one coming up with the things, or the power behind the throne. But that doesn't mean they're replaceable or useless. It does mean you have to have brilliant people behind you helping you run the cult. And when you don't, your cult starts falling apart really fast, like we're seeing happen right now. It's part of the dehumanization that we tell ourselves that people in cults cannot be intelligent. Yep, the other side does a lot of dehumanization. Doesn't mean we should do it back. Hence my whole thing with my dog being a Republican. Calling my dog a Republican is anthropomorphic political satire, and it's hilarious. Calling the Republicans dogs is dehumanization, and we should not be doing that because we tend to get rid of people once we dehumanize them. Amway is some sort of a cult. They're called multi-level marketing, and we refer to them as commercial cults. They are no bueno. Like, this is the one time that I think that like using the C word can be helpful. If you tell like a friend who's just beginning to consider it, like, you know that cult scholars call those commercial cults? The math does not math. Don't do it. And I think something else that people forget about cults is like some people benefit, right? People at the top benefit. The men usually benefit. So like this concept that like, oh, cult tactics don't work. Like, no, they do. Just like some people in MLMs do get rich. Which is probably not going to be you. Nope, she's not gonna listen. She's already into it. You're just gonna have to figure it out herself. That is the hard part. No, I didn't accuse you of anything, honey baby. I said that you couldn't name one idea or person who was the leader of the Democrats to save your life, and you have not done so. Same way I'm saying it'll be gone when Trump is gone because there's no one to take over. Who's the leader of the Democratic Party? You want to both sides this? Who's the leader? Person or idea? Where's the isolation of perspective? The both sides arguments always come from abusive people that don't like you calling out the abusive behavior. This is my whole job. I promise you it was not selling 200 signed cult books a day when the Democrats were in office. I actually have answers for this because this is actually my area of expertise. And you, a random person on the interwebs, could probably do best to just listen. See, what I learned recently is people have forgotten that name calling is a private citizen and not some kind of public asset. I get to talk about whatever I want on my page in my house, where I made my own job. Not just my own job, but my own market. The book is also on Spotify Premium. Oh yes, I've been crowing about the military parade for like 12 hours already, I think. I was right, I was right, I was right. As I have exclusively been since the election. Booker's a cult leader? Schumer? Huh? Yeah. If you don't have one answer to who the leader is, AA, for example, loves to be like, if we're a cult, who's the leader? Well, first Bill W., then he died, then you charisma by proxy. But you actually have regional, national, and international leadership. When there's money somewhere, there's always a leader. The problem that the Democrats have right now is they're really bad at being a cult, but they're fighting a cult, and cult tactics work. And it's easier to cult with hate than to cult with love and trying to include everyone. Because in a cult, you're all supposed to deaden yourself down to basically be one personality or identity, which almost is always straight white man. So, you can say it all you want. But those of us who know what this language actually means are laughing at you. Which is generally what happens when we try to correct experts, but we don't know what we're talking about. Hi TikTok, I forgot about y'all. This is my old account, so it hasn't even been live in like a while. See a whole lot of silence from all those little girls. When it's burned, the witch they're shrieking. when the truth comes out, it's quiet, so quiet. She didn't love the protest, but she did okay. She went on rollerblades, which basically means I just pulled her the whole time. And she had free ice cream. So I think they might be still arguing about who's the leader of the Democratic Party. No, AIPAC is not the leader of the Democratic Party. I don't do well with loud either, but I always, no, AIPAC isn't the leader of the Democrats. The Democrats don't have leadership right now. That's part of the problem. That's what I'm saying. We can have critical conversations about it, but that's not what you're asking me to do. You're asking me to say that also the Democratic Party is a cult. And with all of my 38 years of extensive one-of-a-kind experience, I disagree. Since this is the thing I make money off of every day, I'd listen to me. Just like I assume you know some things about your job. Same thing for everyone being like, how are these soldiers gonna know what's a legal or illegal order? Do you know the laws about your job? Yes, so do they. Okay, you're going away now because this is my space and nobody cares what you have to say. Yeah, and this is part of what I say, like nobody that's not a cult ever has to say they're not a cult. And if somebody says you are a cult and your answer is laughing, and that's different from organizations making jokes about themselves being a cult, because that is creepy. Because when you have a good, non-coercive group experience, the word cult doesn't come up. You're not there going, I wonder if this is a good cult. No, you're just not being coerced. Happy Pride. Oh, maybe I would marry you, but the retired veteran that I just celebrated my 10th wedding anniversary with might also be a little bit upset. No, Stella. It's the military. Soldiers don't get to choose whether they get to go to a parade or not. Y'all think they can't turn down an illegal order, but you think they can just be like, nah, we're not going to participate. No, the whole point was the army just burned down their 250th birthday party in front of the whole world just to not let him have it. It was brilliant. Soldiers generally have to do as they're told, unless the order is illegal or immoral. This is the same thing I was trying to say about the Marine Corps. Nobody ever said they couldn't be sent there. They can't do anything. And the fact that they stopped one dude not listening on federal property, and just to emphasize, that is all they will do. No, they were definitely ordered there. You don't get units to volunteer. And even if the units are volunteering, people are being ordered in unit to show up. This wasn't like the Rose Bowl or whatever that. What's the thing? When you take all the good football players and put them in a game together.
Pro Bowl?
There you go. This wasn't the Pro Bowl. I personally love the 101st running a World War II tank right in front of him.
Squeakity, squeak, squeak, squeak.
They can get as mad as they want about the parade, but there's nothing they can do about it. It's the same energy of people being like, of Trump being like, you're not allowed to talk bad about me under the UCMJ.
He also said, and they said it was going to be 100% chance of rain. If they can't even get that right, how do we think we... Why should we believe they know anything about climate change? You can predict it for 150 years from now. Such a moron.
So, going back to, as I've been saying since the beginning, we can't exactly predict what a cult leader is going to do. But we do know America, and we do know the amount of routinization, basically bureaucratic crap that has been put in place to make this hard to happen. And just like, he's not the most brilliant bad guy of all time. It would literally take the most brilliant bad guy of all time to take over America. Like, someone today asked me to just outline what the difference is between this and Mustache Man were. And the first one is like, he took a very long time. Donald Trump is trying to speed run the authoritarian playbook. And just like, military parades are serious business for serious people. And the US Army understood the assignment. And it was beautiful. And making soldiers skip Father's Day is foul. All they want to do is shoot their guns at beer cans and grill. If I'm spicier when people ask questions than you think I should be, it's because y'all have to understand that I get told I don't have any military experience or that I'm wrong, like, every single day of my job. So, anyways, we're gonna get some kind of thing we can travel in. See, all of a sudden, all these comments show up. I didn't like see them the whole time. Sociologist, you can't speedrun authoritarianism. Yeah, and then there's like so many differences, including size, right? Germany's smaller than Texas. Personality of country, right? Germany is the rule-followingest people alive. Studied empire in college in Germany. I love them, but I'll never forget the sound of 5 20-year-olds gasping and pulling me backward when I went to cross the street at 11 o'clock at night with no cars anywhere around because the white guy hadn't said walk yet. So, like, it wasn't soldiers walking out. That entire protest, that entire military parade was a protest. Like, and again, we have social media and cell phones. Yes, and we have 500 million guns. And it's so interesting, right? Because, like, on your own, right? The preppers, like, thinking your individual community can, like, prep to sustain you against the US government, it's not going to go that well. But if it's all of us, we've got weapons herd immunity. They don't know who's the bad guy, who's against them, from just looking at us. And they will have to assume that all of us and all of our households are very, very armed. So, no, I don't get my live commentary. First of all, I wasn't watching the parade because I don't want to give them views. Second of all, it was a Sunday. I'm going to go live when I want to on the weekends. But yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty good Father's Day present. To a bunch of veterans that the Army did there. We are very proud soldiers today. Maybe he won't try to take over the Marines' 250th later this year. I'm pretty sure. And then, you know, if we make it, and so here's the thing though, is like America is going to be 250 next year. And then I feel like Donald Trump's going to try to throw like a freedom thing. It's going to be so funny. So a couple of my favorite comments. One was the parade could have been an email. One was this is what happens when you don't want gays in your military, and it shows. And one was you gotta take it easy on these soldiers. To be fair, it's their first dictatorship too. Perfection. And also y'all, like laughing at a dictator is very important. Like laughing at tyrants and tyrannical men specifically is very, very important. This is why you all see me laughing at him and telling him to do better at being a dictator. Like he wants to be taken seriously, whether it's feared or loved, right? They argue about those two. Nobody wants to be ridiculed and laughed at. So, oh my goodness, it's just like, oh, I hope that drone guy, just like, I hope that just becomes a meme for government incompetence and he gets like very famous. That would be so funny. Yeah, no, and like the military bands are on point. Like it is about as hard to get into Juilliard as it is to get into like the army band. Like you have to be pretty good. And, you know, willing to sacrifice all your freedom and be brainwashed and all that stuff to go get into the military band. And like their whole job is playing well. It's their whole job. I do not know what this kind of thread is called. I just like get so much stuff at thrift stores and then it's hard because I can't replicate it. Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything. 3.5% of us came out of our homes yesterday. Oh, y'all, I really hope we make like No King's Day just like a popular festival, like Guy Fawkes Day. Like, oh, can you believe it? Yeah, I haven't been on this channel and I'm only here today because they took away my live access on my other channel for a week because they said my cleavage is vulgar, which is just offensive. At this point, I've just figured out, it's just like, you're not actually supposed to be making so much money on TikTok. They want you to think that you can. And they want to pay you for content, you know, thinking if you go viral once a week, like, yeah, we'll give you a couple $100. But as soon as you start having 10 viral videos a day, they're like, no, you're vulgar. Because then they just don't have to pay. What does that sound like? It sounds like our president. Yes, it does. So anyway, it was a lovely gift the U.S. Army gave us. And to go and write a musical and then go to a thrift store in the afternoon. I'm finally getting rid of my bachelor's degree's worth of literature books that I hauled around many moves in the army. But I realize I'm not going to go back and read those ever, and I can use the space. But yeah, I definitely hope that like No King's Day just becomes a thing now. And we have to make sure that we all remember that next year. It's going to be a Monday. We can party on Mondays. And there was so much support. Like every car that was passing by was honking. And like, I'm in Maryland, but still, there's a lot from red states that are like Oklahoma. Like every county in Oklahoma, people came out and protested, and every single one of those was red. It's like, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the people. You can't take America by force. Forcing people to try to be in your cult is silly. So, good luck to him. Hopefully it just continues to be a very lame duck presidency, though I'm sure people will continue to find things to freak out about because that makes them money. Red area of California. Oh, so good. So good. Yes, also looking forward to Juneteenth celebrations. I don't know about the potential VA rules. I do know I need to. Oh, honey, he might be living rent-free in my head, but you're giving me very real hate comment money. So, you know, you don't have to tell me. I've been making money hand over fist since the day he won the election because I'm an expert on cults and tyrants. So yeah, he sure is still the president, and I sure still will be here educating people and making lots of money doing it. And he's only living rent-free in my head in the places where I go to laugh at pathetic little men that want to be evil but can't even get it up. He really just tried to have a dick measuring contest in front of the whole world, and he couldn't get it up. So funny. Now all the other dictators are laughing at him too, and it's just like perfection. He's basically like Elon, but the whole world. He's like, oh, well, no, the bad guys don't want me to sit at their table either. Yeah, because America doesn't like losers. Oh, so good. It's just like, I mean, he definitely made a history-making parade. We will be talking about it for a long time. And like, I'm so glad, like, you know, the Air Force got its moment to shine, taking people out of Afghanistan, and like the Army just, proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all today. This was excellent content. And, oh my God, the squeaky tank. Like, come on, how many memes? It's gonna be perfection. Speaking of Selena vibes, I'm trying to learn to play guitar. It's going okay. I haven't been good at doing it every day, which is a bummer because I really thought I would be better at that. But turns out I've been kind of busy with life and dictators. But after I decide I'm done talking with y'all, I get to go work on the musical. Probably not. I probably have to answer emails and silly things like that. One part in the musical I put, will it save, spit, or swallow your soul? Because, you know, you gotta have a BJ joke in the opening of a musical. Oh yeah, he feels embarrassment. I mean, I'm sure it's just creating rage and that's all he's feeling. People are like, yeah, there's gonna be some retaliation from this. I mean, yes, but as I've been saying since the election, from him and what army? From him and what courts? From him and what people who support him? Like, nobody was even wearing MAGA gear at his parade. No, I still get money for going live. I'm just kicked out of the creator program on here. And then I got kicked out of the creator program on the other one because you're not actually supposed to be a business account and actually be in the creator program. You're supposed to do one or the other. So now I think the next thing I'm going to try is that when this account is done paying its penalties, I will unlink the shop, get out of the business program, get back into the creator fund. Then I can make content money on here, and then on my other one, I can pin the books. And like, I have 14 violations on that channel, so they're gonna kick me off anyways. So it's kind of like nothing's permanent. It's just a bummer because they kicked me out of making a couple hundreds of dollars a day. But then they'll kick me off, they'll demonetize the whole thing at some point soon, and then I'll just be leaving, and then I'll get to make creator money until they find another reason to kick me out. It is very annoying. It is very annoying. Like, if I wasn't on my 9th account right now, I would probably have over 1 million followers on TikTok. But again, it's like they don't want that. They want you to think you could have that, but the people that are on here with 1 billion followers don't monetize all the ways they could so that they can just keep their followings and their size up. So it's very silly. It's very silly. The new book is not out yet. It will be out January 20th. I will be, it's another thing to do, but probably not today because on Mondays the house is loud. But I'm recording chapters of the book and putting those on my Patreon. On August 5th, we will debut the cover and then have pre-sale information. That's when my culting of America era shall officially begin. I think I'm gonna have to get lots of red, white, and blue outfits. Perfect. Making a collar. Definitely weaponized incompetence. Yes. And also, I hope, just a demonstration of what I've been telling you all of, like, the army is not run by the generals that said, do a parade. It's run by the captains and sergeants that took it upon themselves to be like, we're not going to parade for a dictator. It was so good. It was so good, and I hope everyone is a bit comforted this morning. There was never actually a reason to think that the military was going to turn on us. The right just works very hard to keep the stereotype that all veterans are red and soldiers so that they can treat us like crap and nobody will pay attention. Now, there's certain things you can order. You can't order respect. And boy, do soldiers love to teach that to garbage officers. They did so good. My new book is called The Culting of America. And it will come out January 20th, the 1-year anniversary of us all being in this cult. Actually, when I get off here, I'm going to send the link to the book party to my admin so she can put it in my bios. But basically, book party, College Park, Maryland. And we're going to have fun. And I'm going to be posting like chapters of it on my thing. Oh, thank you so much. That MAGA would fracture under Vance and Teal. Like, what makes you think it would even be Vance and Teal? Like before you even get to who would do good on, how are you convinced that that's who it's gonna pass to? Like the president would pass through that, but somebody with like negative charisma, not taking over MAGA. But nobody can even decide who it would be that would take it over. Like, that's not how cults work. They don't know that because they don't think there are cults. But this is what's always true. It's their thing. So, yeah, Trump has failed everything. That's what's been frustrating to me is everyone acting like he's just going to be successful. Like I've been saying since the beginning, he wants to be a dictator. That doesn't mean he's just going to get to do it. He's really, really bad at everything he's ever tried. So we're talking about actual left cults. I mean, we're talking about all kinds of cults. My whole job is to help individuals understand and identify things. And you don't have to call it a cult to be able to identify harmful behavior in it. But I think just like it's only when we're talking about women's bodies and how women are assaulted that people want to show up and be like, men are assaulted too. Well, it's only when we're talking about absolute dangerous cults on the right, which are dominating the country right now, and every terrorist threat in the world coming from a fundamentalist perspective, that we want to bring up cults on the left. So, like, sure, if you want to talk about cults on the left, talk about them. But the whataboutism is a little much, for the most part. Biggest thing about the left is there tends to be this woo to Q pipeline where they still end up radicalized right. They just got into it from leftist perspectives. Like all the Bernie bros who voted for Trump. Yeah, they're a great example. Yeah, the left doesn't have, this is what I keep saying. I'm like, person or idea can be the leader of a cult. What is the person or idea? The left isn't one group. That's the problem. He's failing on everything. He had to bring Abrego Garcia home. That one's not laying flat, so it's a little bit problematic. Yeah, lefties aren't exclusionary enough to make cults, and I mean, part of that is problematic, right? Because the left is trying to appeal to everyone. It is trying to have such a wide tent. It's less good at just bludgeoning one message home, right? Meanwhile, the right decided 50 years ago they only are talking to straight white men and only doing so on Fox News and Twitter. So, like, yeah, there's a way to, like, address their crowd that Democrats don't have. I think this is part of the problem with nonprofits, for example. I feel like we know in 2025, year of our Lord and Savior, Dr. Taylor Allison Swift, that individualized programming for everybody is what you need in a complex world. But that's not how you get metrics. So that's not how you raise funds. So we're going to boil it down to a replicable process or program or whatever it is. It's going to have very little effect for our actual audience, but we have to do that because we live under capitalism and we have to have money. This is why I'm like, under capitalism, every single group's objective, every single organization's objective is to perpetuate itself. That's what the objective is. So therein, I think, lies many of our problems. But now I'm going to take my leave to figure out how to attach this with like half a chain so that it sits like that ish. Mom's nonprofit. Yeah, exactly. That's part of the problem with all of this stuff. I mean, I just don't think unfettered capitalism is a good thing to build a nation on, right? Like, most European countries are capitalist. They're doing fine. It's just not the almighty dollar above all else, like taking care of our people. Like, we don't even have right to life anymore because we don't have healthcare. You know, like, so. We're gonna see. We're all standing up. So, there you go. There you go. That could be cute on the purse. I don't know how I would attach it though. I just carry it around for color. All right. Thanks for hanging out. See you tomorrow. See YouTube later. Who knows when I'll see you again? I don't know anything with TikTok.